Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, there it is. Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, there it is.
Good luck out there, Hunter. Evil lurks beyond Syseal's ramparts. Source Hunter's here too? Well, if the Legion couldn't save this place, what are you gonna do?
Salutations! You don't look like you're quite ready to head out into the undead-infested wilds to me. Also, a party of 1 or 2 runs the risk of being outflanked. Thank you for heeding my...
Has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Well, Mayor Cecil will be happy to see the likes of a source hunter. Welcome to the Town Hall of Syseal.
Syseal's ever seen?
Well, Mayor Cecil will be happy.
Welcome back, source hunter.
What? Oh, it's you. Come closer, then. Closer, huh? My ears aren't what they used to be. Nor my eyes, for that matter. Yes, hello, Source Hunter. Our city welcomes you. My elf? What elf? Oh, myself. I am Cecil, Mayor of Syseal, and husband of the stately Cecilia. I've been the mayor here for decades, and I'm quite eager to see Syseal through these difficult times. Yes, very difficult times indeed. What? Oh, you mean Syseal? Very difficult times indeed. As though the death of Jacon by source magic no less weren't enough. We're also facing all sorts of brutish intruders. The undead have overrun all but one northern trade route, while the orcs are making a habit of savaging our beaches. That's not to mention that at the top of this whole caboodle, there's rumors of some new religious sect or cult or some such sticking its tendrils into the innocent, seven-fearing folks of Syseal. And, while we're on the subject of troubles, I myself have a private matter I'd like to bring to your attention. It involves a magic relic I rather foolishly sought. A weapon called the Staff of Pergamon. The what of what now? Oh, you're speaking gibberish. Ah, you mean the Staff of Pergamon. Yes, yes. I was expecting a shipment of weapons, and among the cargo was this very powerful, very rare staff. I managed to place the order through means somewhat, atypical to a government official. Cecil proved an old fool, though, for the merchant slated to deliver it to me has just informed me that the damn thing has gone missing. I fear it may have fallen into the wrong hands, and I wonder if you could retrieve it for me. His name is Conrad, captain of the Tide Splitter, a merchant ship still docked at the Sicil harbor. You can talk to him if you think it'd help, but I'd quite like to avoid getting the Legion involved, if you don't mind. The staff itself contains a shard of an ore, highly valued for its use in the weapons of war. I know use of the material to be forbidden, but I was desperate to do something to aid the townsfolk against the undead. Jake, murdered? Oh, yes. Yes, now I recall. Indeed. I could hardly believe it myself. The Council and I have certainly had our differences over the years, but old squabbles evaporate under such circumstances. Most of the townsfolk are certain Jake's wife Esmeralda is responsible. In fact, the Legion have taken her into protective custody to keep her safe from the mob. As you can imagine, I've known Esmeralda for years. That business between her and the Duke of Ferrol was always a bit, suggestive. But I've never had cause to suspect her of violence. Still, one never knows for sure. An all-right bloke, apart from all this Esmeralda nonsense. The whole town knows the only goal of his business trips to Sicil is to spend a night or two at the King Crab Inn with Mrs. Counselor. What? The undead? Yes, for the past 2 years, those blasted skeletons have all but suffocated this city. With all but one trade route overrun, Sicil's once torrential commerce has slowed to a pathetic trickle. Well, I do believe that's something your parents ought to have discussed with you long ago, Source Hunter. But I suppose if you really don't know, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least explain the basics. Ah, you see, when a lady and a fellow find each other rather nice, well, rather more than nice, they occasionally, well, they... Oh, this is nonsense. I'm the mayor for the 7th sake. I can't be bothered to chat all day about the birds and the bees when Sicil's under siege by orcs, undead, and cultists. That depends. What kind of berries are you interested in, exactly? Ah, the library. Yes, yes, you must have a visit. It's the gem of Sicil. Would you like to have a look? I'll escort you upstairs myself. Please yourself. Let me know if you change your mind. You won't regret it. No, all my clothes are in fine condition, thanks. I've been going to the same tailor for years. Jake? Murdered, you say? Oh, yes, of course. Now I remember. Well, I'm sure the facts will prove me innocent. Keep investigating. You'll see for yourselves in time.
Omnes autem mali daemonis quam. What? What is this? Who are you to interrupt my musings? By Naga the Protector, they have the manners of boors, these boatmen of Sicil. Oh, but perhaps I spoke too soon. Perhaps I was mistaken, for you hardly resemble the local fisher folk, which, incidentally, is a compliment of copious dimensions indeed. No, a source hunter. That is what you are. Yes, a stalker of sorcery, a chaser of charms pernicious. In truth, I cannot go so far as to say it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, for I take no pleasure in the company of man. But it may just be to our mutual advantage to join forces nonetheless. Why? Simply because you hunt source, and I, Jehan, hunt demons. You are aware, of course, that quite often both of these pests frequent the same shadowy pools of infamy. Now, I hate what I hunt, but I respect its cunning. Should I not, I'd have been decimated, body and soul, long since. This is a sentiment I'm quite certain you must recognize. Let there be strength in cunning, yes, but also in numbers. The calculus of wizardry I offer you, the might of the magician's mastermind, on one condition: that on our joint travels we will never deal with demonic entities, no matter how tempting their propositions. Give me your word on this, and I'll weave you spells.
I concur. Some temptations just cannot be resisted.
Oh, simple souls. Oh, doomed spirits. What tangled webs you'd weave. But I won't be a fly to be caught in them. Begone. Reflect. And if you should see the light, I will be here in the library. For now, you are not worthy of my devotion.
A brief history of sorcery still hasn't
this
been
isn't
returned. A source hunter! Oh, what a sight for sore Sicilian eyes! Me? I live alone here in town. Used to be that my younger brother Tom and I were practically joined at the hip, but that's all changed now. Oh, he's always been something of a rascal, calling his petty hooliganism adventuring and endlessly worrying my poor mind. Oh, but of course, I've always loved that scamp to bits. For my part, I encouraged him to join the Legion. Even got him sparring with Captain Aureus now and then. But then those blasted Fabulous Five came into town. That band of... I don't even know what to call them. Well, they're his heroes, and I simply couldn't prevent him from going to see them. That one meeting was all it took for Tom to run off with them on some mission to God knows where. Where's the third one gone? Shucks.
Demonology for dumbbells. I need something more advanced. The Pseudomonarchia Daemonum. And a first edition too. Most promising.
Volume 1, Volume 2. But where's the third one gone? Shucks. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night.
No, this isn't the grimoire I'm looking for.
In the name of Amun-Hur, I bid thee Tujda Geta Hal. Be welcome, human. My library is yours, as I hope your friendship is mine.
Demonology for dumbbells. Ugh. I need something more advanced. The Encyclopedia Daemonium. I know it by heart. Demonology for dumbbells. Ugh. I need something more advanced. Is there no new book to be discovered in this library? No, this isn't the grimoire I'm looking for. The Pseudomonarchia Daemonum. And a first edition too. Most promising. A key of Sadakandras. Ugh, what nonsense. Is there no new book to be discovered in this library?
am Victoria, daughter of Mayor Cecil. Oh, I know what you're thinking. The likeness isn't exactly striking, is it? When I was very young, you see, I must have been cast out by my tribe, for I was found in a wicker basket floating past Sicil toward the sea. The fisherman who found me would have drowned me on the spot, for I am an orc after all. But praise be Amon-Hor, dear Cecil was among the gathered crowd, and he took pity on the exiled infant that chance had put in his way. He raised me like I was his own. This kindest of souls taught me the language of men, their customs and their letters. Thus, I became the city's librarian, a position I uphold with no small diligence and pride. Indeed you may. The wisdom I here hoard is yours to peruse and even take with you. All I can ask is that you return the books you borrow so that others may enjoy them too.
The Lesser Key of Sadakandras. Ugh, what nonsense. The Encyclopedia Daemonium. I know it by heart.
Kaj Denor. A brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Celeron will have to pay yet another fine.
No, this isn't the grimoire I'm looking for. The Pseudomonarchia Daemonum. And the first edition too. Most promising.
Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has the third one gone? Shatsu.
The Lesser
Sometimes I think
Key
these
of
books sprout little legs in the night.
Ugh, what nonsense. Is there no new book to be discovered in this library?
The knight in see-through armor. Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom. Stentiken. Esmeralda does have a propensity
this
for
isn't
all
the
things
grimoire
naughty,
I'm looking
hasn't
for. The Encyclopedia Daemonium. I know it by heart. Demonology for dumbbells.
Volume 1.
Sigurd's beard, what a find!
Something more
Where's the
advanced.
third one gone?
Is there no new
Shut
book to
so-
be discovered in this
Sometimes I
library?
think these books sprout little legs in the night.
The Lesser Key of Sadakandras. Ugh, what nonsense. Is there no new book to be
The
discovered
knight
in this
see-through
library?
armor. Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom. Stentiken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she?
No, this isn't the grimoire I'm looking for. Is there no new book to be discovered in this library? No, this isn't the grimoire I'm looking
Princess
for.
Buttercup with the
Is there no
blushing
new
bottom.
book to be discovered in this library?
Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she?
No, this isn't the grimoire I'm looking for. Is there no new book to be discovered in this library?
Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has
Striking
the
it
third
rich!
one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout
No,
little legs in the
this
night.
isn't the grimoire I'm looking for. The Encyclopedia Daemonium. I know it by heart. No,
Place this book
this
here.
isn't the
A
grimoire
volume of
I'm looking
poetry
for.
among novels.
Meow.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Not in the mood for cheese. No excuses or hope.
Livestock's got twice the sense and thrice the soul of the average human, I say. Source hunters, eh? All right, proper, we're finally getting a hand. Things is chaos. If you've got a favourite sheep, best to fry her up now before she gets thieved in the night like me dear plump Ogget, the finest in me herd. Now that the herd's gone, old Birch is just scratching by like a hen till the next batch of beasties comes through. I recently sold most of the tender loves to a trader heading north. Plenty of business that way these days. Those miners must be preparing for a mighty great feast. Wish I could have a nibble on my dear darlings, all ground and spiced. Yes. Oh, Ogget's been missing for more than a fortnight. I love that sheep, you know. Was planning to cook her into a fine midwinter night haggis myself. Do tell me if you hear anything about her. I plan on pursuing whoever stole her with my cleaver in hand. Sorry, can't help you there. Haven't got enough livestock left to warrant a hand with the work.
I'm straight. I'm
Ah,
true.
hello, proportionate one. Oh, I can see from the symmetry in your face that you are a great fan of the fine arts, no?
See who's ever seen.
I'm a painter by trade, as you can see, but a cartographer at heart. You might think there isn't enough work for one of my talents in a downtrodden city like Sicil, and you'd be quite right.
Toe of snake, wing of worm.
I travel around Andervale, mastering my craft and finding new subjects to add to my litany of lovely portraits and complex maps. Like this rooster I'm working on now, and the landscape that surrounds him.
Choose the finest greens.
Need a big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Let's see. Halibut.
What's taking tenderfoot so long? But if one were to reduce the quantity of skull dust by a percentage of 2, perhaps the stability could be increased by as much as 3-fold.
Oh, a source hunter. Imagine that. Quite a bit more petite than the last of your kind I encountered, aren't you? Yes, by nearly 20 centimeters of tibia, as my memory serves. But no matter. Even if it couldn't spare its heartiest specimen, I'm sure the order sent the individual with the next highest probability of success. Me? Why, I'm more than a little surprised you haven't heard of me. Perhaps I can jog your memory. It was I who cured the Duchess of Arata of her unslakable thirst, a simple pinch of Atropa belladonna in her morning tea. I who discovered that aging itself can be halted by a single application of Cicuta Douglasii on the tongue. Not to mention that it's been my guidance that has permitted my apprentice Evelyn to make quite a name for herself around Sicil of late. Yes. If that's how we're referring to the secretive use of a revolutionary healing method she refuses to share with her own master. She's in the other room as we speak. Perhaps you can prevail upon her to offer a demonstration. She's gotten hold of a stone, supposedly capable of fantastic feats of healing, but she won't let me take the briefest look at it. But she claims to have gotten the relic from a little northern town, Silverglen by name, and that an abbot there blessed it with the power to heal. Utter rubbish, I say. But with these blasted undead haunting the travel routes, I can hardly march up to Silverglen to learn the truth myself. Well, she certainly possesses a critical eye and an exacting manner when it comes to making difficult medical decisions. I expect she'll be a very successful healer in her own right when the time comes. She has learned... Sorry, but there isn't much work for sailors in a house of medicine. Unless one of them happens to have a secret stash of healing stones. Certainly, what would you like to know? The counsellor. Terrible loss, that. Though we were hardly more than acquaintances, I knew him to be a devoted civil servant. From what I can tell, it seems to be a simple case of jealousy turned violent. The affairs of his wife, Esmeralda, were hardly a secret, you know. I've applied myself to that problem for 2 years and still haven't come a step closer to solving it. I declare it an act of the Almighty's, if I believed in such things. Some events, Source Hunter, can be neither controlled nor understood by mere men.
Stone.
Interesting indeed.
Nothing sets me on edge like inexplicable magic.
So, which of you is more deserving of life? Come, make your case. So, which of you is more deserving of life? Come, make your case. Anybody? Neither of you. Excuse me. This is a private sick room. Who in the name of the Seven do you think you are barging in here? Out, I say, right this instant. Oh, I'm sorry. It's this task. I'm just... Who am I to meddle with life and death this way? I'm an apprentice of the healing arts. Healing! But this decision feels like precisely the opposite. I have but one healing stone, you see, and 2 direly wounded men who need it. I've been racking my brain trying to decide on the best method to settle this grave situation, but perhaps it's better off in the hands of an esteemed source hunter. Surely you are more accustomed to weighing life and death than I. What would you like to know? One of the brave few willing to traverse the trade routes plagued by the undead. A young man, but excellent in matters of business, before he fell victim to an orcish club in the north, that is. Thankfully for him, a cattle trader found him, nearly dead, but not quite so, and brought him here straight away. Quite the venerable staple of Syceal, Stephen, and recently blessed with his 3rd grandchild. He was leading a crew of builders when a stray beam struck him in the temple, and only a few days shy of his last day of work before retirement, no less. Nearly everyone in Syceal is familiar with Grinning Stephen, and, as you can imagine, he's quite dear to his family. You are? Ah, I thank you 1,000,000 times for your help. Who have you decided should receive the healing stone?
Those men hardly sound long for this world.
Yes, Boris deserves to experience all the pleasures of life that Stephen has already enjoyed.
Boris it is? Yes, I'll deliver the stone. I'm glad we'll get to save one man, but my heart breaks for the other. You there! Cut it out!
Thank
No,
the Seven.
no! This is highly abnormal. What is this? This lightning?
I don't know what I did to deserve this.
What? What happened? Is this a dream?
I don't think so. That stone. Somehow it sent us flying into the stars.
Terrible, terrible, terrible! It will consume us all! By the quill that lasts 1 billion words, what's this? 2 Rivalonians here? At the end of space and time? How very, very, very curious! Perhaps my newfound comrade, but that is hardly our chiefest concern. We stand on a tiny vestige of space and time, and the ground is fast shrinking beneath our feet. It's good you appeared, however you did it, precisely when and where you did, or you might have found yourself free floating in empty space. Oh, but I suppose I should make a proper introduction. Zigzax the historian at your service. It is my job to record all that was and is, and hopefully all that is to be. At last a question I can answer most definitively. I mentioned already that this place is the end of time. If that didn't send your heart into your stomach and your pulse a-flutter, it should have. Time ought naturally to have no end at all. Indeed, I can think of no worse nightmare for a chronicler such as myself. But something totally, utterly terrible has happened. Show, don't tell, I always say. So go, peer through yonder looking lens, and feast your soon-to-be terrified eyes on the darkness that is approaching.
I think that imp may be quite mad.
Then we had better appease him and have a look through the looking lens.
You looked. You saw. Terrifying, isn't... What's this? The portal. It's... The portal! It's quite sprung to life, just like the long, dormant flames that decorate this observatory. After all my waiting and hoping, could it be? You, dear stranger, you must be the key. Something about your presence here is causing the end of time to grow. The true end itself to move further away. Those torches, a light! This portal active once more! It cannot be coincidence. Goodness me, how right you are. There's so much to take in, I'd nearly forgotten. And what you saw has been haunting my mind since I first discovered it. It is the void itself. The dragon that is devouring creation. When I speak of the end of time, this is exactly what I mean. I can't say for sure where it came from, how or why, but I do know this. It's shrinking our future by the second. And if we don't stop it, it will devour the past and present as well. Though I cannot say for certain, if it is what I believe, then our prayers might well be answered. In fact, every last question that ever plagued your noggin might well be answered, for I believe what lies beyond this portal is nothing other than... But why spoil the mystery? As soon as we leap through, we'll find out for certain. It's not that I believe, it's that I have seen. Long have I been waiting here, hoping that one day this very portal would ignite. Then, no longer than a few mere moments after you arrive, zap it goes. The chronicler of time knows a pattern when he sees one. After you, after you. Oh, what wonders we may find on the other side. You first, but don't dilly-dally. Yes, just as I'd hoped. There she is, there it is. Come, don't delay.
And he's off.
It seems the imp has spotted exactly who and what he'd hoped to find here.
Sigurd grant me swiftness.
I am the last chest, the last chest, the last chest! If you believe yourself worthy of rifling through my ample treasures, I do dare you to prove it! Find my 4 sisters, no more than one in each of the realms of your wide world, and each by each, you'll discover how to open me!
Could it be, milady? The weaver of time? Mother of history? Author of all that has ever been?
Indeed, Sir Imp. As surely as you are he who chronicles all that I weave.
Astounding! Unbelievable! I have so many questions for you, so much to ask, so much to say.
You have brought guests, I see. Strange. Very strange guests.
My reaction exactly, milady. It was their arrival here at the end of time that instigated my finding you. But why? Surely you must know.
This is a question better put to our guests themselves. Tell us, how did you arrive upon this plane? If any other being in Rivellon asked me about the details of their comings and goings, I could describe them down to the minutest of details. But you are different. Of you I see nothing. I know nothing. So please, do tell me, how did you arrive here? A stone? So. It was a stone that caused the great shock of energy that brought you here, and it infused you with new life as well. Is that not like this? No. What happened to you is unique in all my work. Never had I experienced something so contrary to my nature. To weave something I had not seen, had not expected. Life does not simply spring into existence, you see. But yours has. You appeared before me from the moment you came into contact with that stone. Starstone. I now know it to be called.
But, Madam Weaver, how is it possible? Do you not see all? Have you not woven all that is and could ever be into your tapestry?
Like the stones, your guests are a mystery to me. I see them before me in this world, but their likenesses appeared not upon my tapestry until they revived the stone. Source hunters. It would seem that yourselves and Starstone are inextricably linked. Why and how, I cannot say. But I do believe that finding more stones will reveal to me who you yourselves truly are. Starstone is not what it seems, Source Hunter. Its true nature must be part of a greater secret, a secret lost even to me. Do you see what violence my work has suffered? What wounds lay upon the tapestry of time?
Mysteries of all time, gaps in history. Oh, how they've tormented me for eons.
It would appear that Starstone transforms at your touch, granting me new thread by which to mend the tapestry. Thus, it restores time itself.
I see. What the void would shrink, Starstone restores.
Yes. Though I cannot explain why this Starstone is the antidote to the void's ravishment of our realm. If we do not restore time, if we do not discover the true nature of these stones, the void will consume us all. Indeed you must, though I may not yet understand why. It seems that you and you alone can unlock the powers within Starstone. Yet we are not the only entities who know these stones to be so much more than pretty gems.
Why, of course, that's what they were doing. I have recorded their doings, you see. Collectors of Starstone, more and more by the day. Now I understand. They'd keep the stones from our reach. They'd prevent the mending of time.
Without these stones, Hunter, there will be no Rivellon. The entire tapestry will crumble. Even this plane will fall victim to the void's insatiable hunger.
That shall never be, milady. As sure as Zix comes before Zax, we will put a stop to it. First we mend the tapestry, then we stop the void. Please, our most mysterious guest, are you ready? Are you willing? Will you hunt out the stones? Will you help us restore what has been lost?
Not but a moment ago we were hunting Source in Rivellon, and now we're being told that we alone can prevent the end of time by way of some magical stones. What do you make of it? No matter how improbable, anything is possible. If the Weaver tells the truth, we have some serious work ahead of us.
The glint in your gaze and the set of your brow suggest to me that you've not given up on our dear old Rivellon. Not just yet. No, with you searching out Starstone, I believe we'll mend the tapestry in no time. We'll find out just who you are and how exactly to send the void back to wherever it came from. But you'll need a way to travel between Rivellon and this homestead, won't you? Who wouldn't want to see what fantastic changes your search will yield? And who knows what the Weaver might discover about you? Luckily, the power of portals is known to you, so I'll let you in on the little secret of how to transport back and forth from the end of time. Just, don't go sharing it around. Never know who we can trust these days. Off you go, then. You've Starstone to find, and I've a tapestry to examine. Surely there must be some clue here as to how on earth you're related to the end of time. Cross my heart, hope to fade in the void, I honestly don't know. But ask her. If she claims it is so, perhaps she knows why. Like the imp said to the ballista operator, shoot! Wouldn't it just? Would that I had a Starstone sightseeing guide, but alas, such a booklet does not exist. Just like yourselves, Starstones are curiously absent from history, both in my writings and on the Tapestry of Time. From what I can gather, though, they were once cherished by devious sorcerers whose reign ended long ago. The stones are therefore most likely to be found in the ancient places of this world. Ruins, caves, the lairs of long-forgotten evils. Those are the dens you should frequent. 2 more pieces of advice. Don't go unarmed, and consult with my agent. Oh, I don't know if I'm more than those things per se, but having been given a divine mission does have its perks. Old age can't touch me, that's one. Immortality is mine as long as no one skewers me with a sword, and even then I'll be back in a jiffy. But of course, I have a price to pay for something that is priceless. It is my duty to record all of history, and an arduous task that is. Not to mention how much stress that void out there is causing me. The end of time! I'll be out of a job. So, gather those star stones so that we may know the history that was lost. Know so that we must not repeat what leads us to this dangerous precipice, but do better and close the dark eye of the void forever. Lonesome, observing the frontier of creation, surfing the vibrant tide of the eons, always approaching yet never reaching shore. Lonesome, being privy to all that has been and all that is. Well, yes, actually. I don't mean to complain, but one certainly doesn't mind a bit of company now and then. Perhaps you can imagine the profound pleasure it is to have made the Weaver's acquaintance after all these years. I can hardly wait to pick her brain about the great battle of the sons of Sigurd. The last Rivellonian who remembers it died more than 7,000 years ago. Neither do I, but the mere fact that activated Starstone has set the Weaver of Time weaving again more than implies that it and the Void Dragon are natural enemies. This in turn more than implies that you are the Void's natural enemy, for it is you who is setting new events in motion. You who is handing the Weaver new threads. And that which she is weaving is more than an ornament to decorate the shelter plane. It is both history and future history. It is all of time. We may not understand the how yet, but our aim is clear. We shall save creation from the grip of the void. Now, isn't that a lovely mission? Before you go, Source Hunter, a final word. Once you return to Rivellon, there will be someone waiting for you. My agent, my eyes and ears upon your world. I hope he'll be able to help you as much as he can. Time, I need hardly remind you, is of the essence.
How welcome you are upon this realm, our most honored guest. I hope you begin to find this place more familiar than it may yet seem. In the ethereal threads of eternity, do I record the deeds of gods as men, of beasts and spectral apparitions. The drift of continents through changing seas, the rise and fall of empires, the shift of every grain of sand on every beach, the fall of every raindrop on every world, the all but imperceptible touch of lovers' hands. This and all I chronicle without fault. Except, it seems, you. Ask, and I shall answer. If I can, I am the Weaver of Time, as I have told you. Though my existence is one that falls behind and yet far exceeds the verb to be. I am but what I am, and that is task. It is the same for the historian. Chroniclers both are we of the epics of eternity. Perhaps we are one and the same. Task multiplied by 2. Who has made us? I do not know. Why have they done so? I do not know. Am I the beginning? And am I to be the end? Who shall say? Perhaps I am the first thing in creation. Perhaps I am creation. Perhaps I am the creator. Or maybe it is you. You who makes dying stars rekindle. Time alone will tell. Alas, the answers to those questions still elude me. You and Starstone remain the imperfections upon the tapestry. As yet. A hidden answer lies behind this veil of inscrutability, though. For the link between you and the stones reveals that your destinies are intertwined. I believe that starstones will not lead you to new places of wonder only. No. They will also lead to new knowledge through the restoration of the threads of old. Oh, Hunter, I have no need for company, like I have no need for air or appetite or affection. All I need and all I am is time. And time is running out, unless you remedy its decline. And yet, I do enjoy your companionship, for you may prove to become the cure that will heal my slipping soul. Quite so. Your absence, it should be an impossibility, but no matter where I look, you cannot be found. I do not know you, which makes you my one perennial imperfection, a blind spot in the eye of time. But perchance I may be cured of this blindness. Perchance the blemish may be undone, and time can be redeemed. What it is but a seed bereft of sun and water. What it could be, that is what the starstones will tell us. What it is but the end. What it could be is the end of ends. I reside in another realm altogether. But ever since the end of time appeared in these deep dark skies, I materialized here, as if forced to watch the one thing that is unwatchable, unendurable. A thankless task that you may yet free me from forever. I think that perhaps you can redeem time, because you create time. Indeed, you have set in motion an event I no longer held possible. Know that no longer I did weave. I sat here at the end of time and watched on as the void frays the fabric of time like a terrified god that fears the offspring of his own creations. But suddenly there was you. You who stirred the life within the stones. These stones, children of stars, they place new ribbons along my fingers like phantoms out of time. New threads emerged, and I began to weave anew. Starstone gives me new strands to braid into the tapestry. And because you give Starstone energy, it seems that you are creating time. These Starstones, please, seek them so that time may yet be mended. Please, for the sake of all that lives and all that loves, seek them so that the void may yet devour itself alone.
A question has me stumped, milady. Why are there two of us? Two beings that record all of history parallel to one another?
That is a good question, Zigzags. One without a conclusive answer, though its resolution may lie in conception. Where you chronicle, I both chronicle and create. Where you arrive at conclusions, I spin origins besides.
Source Hunters, I welcome you once again to the realm of Rivellon after your travels through the chasms of space. Nice to have found a shelter, wouldn't you agree? Where you can come to no harm. I know the imp historian has told you about his agent on Rivellon, and that agent is I. So now that you know of the alliance between me and Sir Zigzags, let us turn to the business at hand. Starstone. So it is, and so it should continue to be. For I suspect his foul murder and the plight of dying time are somehow interconnected. Dark webs are being woven around these parts, and it is my firm belief starstones are the flies the sorcerer spiders are trying to catch. It can therefore hardly be a coincidence that Councillor Jake was a collector of the stones we seek. That means the task you have been given remains crucial. Find the assassin that did away with Jake, for you're bound to stumble upon Starstone along the way. While you were being lectured by our friend the historian and the grande dame of time, I snuck into his house and had a look around. The advantage of being a cat, you know. You go where you please with impunity. And sometimes the lady of the house even rewards you with a slice of fresh herring. That's where I saw them in a cabinet. Mere slivers, but specks of starstones nonetheless. They lay there, silent and innocent, though bloody murder may have been committed in their name. Don't we all long for a sanctuary where our worldly troubles can be held at bay? A bed or a basket so snug it becomes, in a word, safety. But perhaps I speak only for myself, not for veterans such as yourselves that by necessity call any patch of ground they rest upon home. Like any cat worth its salt, though, I deeply cherish a secret refuge unbeknownst to anyone. To be able to repose without a care is such a precious circumstance, save it all too seldomly. Let me phrase it like Zigzags might. A universe without time is like a pen without ink. A pointless instrument stripped of the potential of creation. It is void. It is death. It is nothing. I'll not pretend to have all the answers, all that I understand all that is happening here and out there among the stars, but I do know I'd rather err on the side of caution. If Zigzags worries, I worry. We are talking about a creature, after all, that has reclined among the divines as nonchalantly as you and I laze beside the hearths of home. I met him first, a long time ago, out in the wastes of Youthful Gore. He wondered aloud what on earth a cat was doing out there in the scorching desert, then shared what little food and water he had with him. So I told him who I was and showed him my human form. He laughed and marveled and told me stories about his travels. In the end, he even shared his great sorrow with me. The unspeakable thing you saw through his looking lens. I was awed and frightened, but swore to help him in any way I could. As of now, that includes helping the two of you. Oh, before you go, here, take this teleporter pyramid. A handy toy indeed that Zigzags asked me to give to you. You'll need the other one too if you want to make use of its powers, but alas, I seem to have misplaced it. Don't worry though. Use this one here and it'll take you straight to its twin. Now that this matter has been settled, hunters, I shall detain you no longer. But rest assured, I'll do my share of hunting too. So if you spot a white cat during your travels, do stop to say hello.
gods! What is going on here? First I have to shoo away a creeping white tomcat, and now there's a perfect stranger in my bathroom. Get out, will you? Gods! What is going on here? First I have to shoo away a creeping white tomcat, and now there's a perfect stranger in my bathroom. Get out, will you? Then see if I... Out now, if you please. This room is private. Don't just stand there. Go! We'll have none of that, you hear? What do you think you're doing?
Slimy, leaking rock.
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that Orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Ahoy, sailor! Are you enjoying the fresh winds of Sicile? Aye, that Cecil's worse than a rooster. Crowing all around town about matters he ought to know are better kept quiet. Well, if you know about the staff, I suppose you also know it's gone without a trace. For my part, I haven't a clue where it could have gone. Overboard, stolen, or vanished into thin air. Though I'm quite eager to see it return. I've got a reputation to uphold, you know. Wouldn't hurt to ask some of my men. I tried myself, but sailors tend to be a bit tight-lipped when they're afraid of getting one another in some trouble. Seaman's code, you know. Not to rat out a fellow sailor.
Passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sailed to Ythel
Shores? Here? In Sicile? Bah! Of all the cursed hunks of rock to land on, Conrad chooses this'n. Star for what now? No, never heard of it, much less seen it. Check with one of the others, maybe. Tim took the Duchess of Feddle's carriage for the jump.
Sauce? Here in Sicile? Now that you mention it, I noticed Dietmar, a fellow merchant travelling with us, carrying a sealed box off the ship during the attack. At the time, I figured he was just escaping with his personal effects. But it could well have been that staff you're talking about. Well, sure, I saw him slip off the ship, but I haven't a clue where he could possibly be now. Captain Conrad's the man to ask for such matters.
Sauce? Here? Inside? Was too busy dodging fireballs to notice anything myself. But ask around a bit. Could be one of the other men spied something I didn't. Don't know much about him myself, except that he and Captain have partnered up more than a few times for long journeys. Perhaps one of the other crewmen will be able to tell you more. Sauce? Here? Inside? Don't know much about him myself, except that he...
Heard anything about the whereabouts of the magic stick yet? What? That weasel has it for sure. But I'll tell you this. I didn't speak of that stuff to a soul on board. If he's the one who took it, he must have known it was on the ship before stepping foot on her decks. I'm sure he'll make a run for it, probably by boat. I'd look for him on an out-of-sight beach somewheres. He's probably there now trying to launch a vessel in private, if he hasn't already escaped, that is.
Yo, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that Orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let it all within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst! Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for a joyride?
Ha! No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Is that Bertie still right?
Oh, and yes, sir. As fine a specimen as one of her stock, sir.
Is that why we never sail to Ythel anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that Orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let it all within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Warm as dragon's breath!
It never ends around here. There's a zombie in my garden. My sheep is missing. An orc ate my baby. Night and day, day and night. Now, where's my pepper?
Source Hunter's here too. Well, if the Legion couldn't save this place, what are you going to do?
I'm overheating here.
Drink and gamble. That's all we do around here. Hope you fare better, Source Hunter.
Murder within the walls, undead outside of the walls, and here we Legionnaires sit twiddling our thumbs.
Never thought I'd see Sicil in such dire straits. This here's one of the oldest cities in Rivellon.
Baking like a cake. Better to evacuate this place while there's still some left to save, I say. Go while the going's good.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew and spice 'em, stir and churn.
My, what a strong and handsome officer you are, kind Septimus. You must have fought many a battle, am I right? In fact, I bet you're a real war hero.
Oh, I'm no hero, Esmeralda dearest. I'm just doing my duty, you know. For the Legion.
Well, you certainly are my hero. The rock upon which I may rest my weary soul in these trying and troubled times.
Never fear, milady. As long as I'm around, no hair on your haloed head shall be harmed.
Lords above, grant me patience. You're a source hunter, aren't you? Here because you think I killed my husband. How many times do I need to state and restate my complete innocence in the matter? I am Esmeralda, wife of Jake, and now, alas, his widow. Poor man. We were both so young when we married. He so rich and I so poor, but his one and only princess just the same. Well, what do you want to know? Can you tell this is the most ancient city in Andervale? That pagan statue jutting out from the harbour is thousands of years old, in fact. If an orcish cannon damages any of the ancient structures, there'll be hell to pay. They're nightmare incarnate, aren't they? Let a priest explain that to me. How we all supposedly become the gods' children in death, when in fact foul magic can bring us back and make us haunt our own kin in endless, mindless deviance. Like I told just about every legionnaire in town, I don't know anything about poor Jake's murder. I want his killer found and tried, but everyone suspects me of this evil deed. And you're no different, are you? So what happened? Some of them tittle-tattling crab chasers down the pub call me a murderous gold digger and you believe them? These insinuations truly go beyond the pale. Oh, I think I'm getting one of my headaches. Starstone? I've never heard of such a thing. Dear Jake had a mineral collection, yes. As far as I knew, it was one of his pastimes, nothing more. Do you mean to imply he collected something dangerous? Something that may have gotten him into trouble? Oh, this is all too much. I feel like I'm drifting from nightmare into nightmare.
Comment about her innocence.
We'll need to look for evidence if we want to prove she actually did the evil deed.
Legion's greetings. I have been informed about your heroics on the beach. Were that I had been there to partake in the battle. But my duties lie here. sworn as I am to protect Lady Esmeralda from the rabble that would enforce summary justice on her, even though she is, until proven guilty, wholly innocent. I am Septimus, 7th son in a household of 9, legionnaires all. Me and 2 brothers of mine were assigned to Sicile from day 1. Alas, both of them have long since fallen in battle against the dead. But never shall I lose heart. Long as a single legionnaire stands, all of us remain undefeated in the eyes of the gods. So fair a lady I have seldom seen in all of Rivellon, my friend. And I have traveled more extensively than migratory birds do. She stands accused of murder, but in my mind, her presumed guilt is a fallacy, and indeed a fabrication. Steadfast will I guard her. Never will I waver unless absolute proof of her culpability should be brought before me. And I hold no such proof exists. Jake's murder is, in a word, a tragedy. He was well loved in all of Sicile. The Council of 7 couldn't have wished for a better ambassador. That he of all people should have braved the undead siege for so long, only to be felled by foul sorcery, is heartrending. And what questions are those? This place is practically a tomb, and these Sicilians are constantly crying for our attention. There's a zombie in my garden, an orc ate my baby. My sheep is gone, oh woe is me. It never ends. I'll be grateful when our reinforcements finally arrive. Maybe they'll manage to muster the will to care. Don't even mention those rotten carcasses to me. They're the reason we've been stuck in this dead-end town for nigh on 2 bloody years. All fun and games in the beginning, but just you lose a couple of friends fighting those fiends. Get used to lousy rations and have but drink and dice for entertainment. And you'll soon come to realize that out of hundreds of cohorts the world round, yours drew the short straw.
Lucky find!
Assure me, dear
The hunter returns! I hope you are here to shop rather than sleuth.
Assure me, dear Septimus, that you haven't been fighting those awful orcs. Perimeter. So tell me, Septimus, would your wife or sweetheart be compensated by the Legion should tragedy befall you on the battlefield?
I suppose so. But seeing that I'm neither married, engaged, or attached anyway, I never bothered to inquire.
Polite, handsome, and single. Don't go anywhere tonight, Legionnaire. I'd be afraid alone in the dark.
A book about setting up the perfect crime.
Esmeralda has interesting taste in literature.
Officer you are, kind Septimus. You must have fought many a battle, am I right? In fact, I bet you're a real war hero.
Oh, I'm no hero, Esmeralda, dearest. I'm just doing my duty. For the Legion.
Well, you certainly are my hero. The...
Ah, so that's what that did. A bloody dagger. Could this have been involved in the crime?
It certainly piques one's interest, doesn't it?
Assure me, dear Septimus, that you haven't been fighting those awful orcs. I can't bear to imagine something would happen to you.
The hunter returns! I hope you are here to shop rather than sleuth.
Assure me, dear Septimus, that you haven't been fighting those awful orcs. I can't bear to imagine something would happen to you.
Oh, but don't you worry, lady. We Legionnaires are highly trained soldiers who fear neither orc nor demon.
Oh, but what if you were to be ambushed, caught unawares? Oh, catch me, for I might faint. So tell me, Septimus, would your wife or sweetheart be compensated by the Legion should tragedy befall you on the battlefield?
The hunter returns! I hope you are here to shop rather than sleuth.
Listen, if you're going to accuse me of something, you had better find the evidence to back up your ridiculous claims.
Oh, that horrid tome of ill repute. It isn't mine, it was Jake's. He was a politician, don't you see? Always on the lookout for plotting rivals. Always trying to be one step ahead. Really, I should have thought a source hunter of all people would appreciate my dear husband's sense for survival. Perhaps it is you who should explain your presence in my cellar. And the dagger? It's simply a butcher knife used by my late husband to cut meat. He did so love to cook, the dear. What'll you think of next? Accusing me of bashing him over the head with a frying pan?
Performers, showmen, show all of Sightseer what you're made of.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
A good day to you.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Fresh haddock! Perfect for a fry-up!
The 7 great abundance!
Under lock and key. Under lock and key.
So ardently did he crave creamy blues and gory reds that he ordered a contest across his realm. Today, I think, of him, the great Sigurd and his rainbow of war machines. It is said, and this I have heard from a ghost who knew Elva, who knew Elliot, who is said to have known Sigurd himself, that he had a great so ardently did he crave creamy blues and gory reds that he ordered a contest across his realm.